Bill Gates, what a hero Bill Gates is. He's donating his entire fortune, 108 million or billion, excuse me, 108 billion dollars he's donating, he's getting rid of it. Of course, he is giving it to his own fucking charity and nonprofit, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, this is a tax dodge. That is what the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is. And he said he's going to fund it to it's going to keep spending $9 billion a year, a nonprofit spending $9 billion a year, influencing world politics. Oh, but he's doing it for health, for children's health and vaccines. And he's doing it for education. Yeah, like when he spent all the money to try to prove that private education was better than public and then came to the conclusion that it wasn't. He's spending, how in the fuck do we live in a world where a billionaire can actually not have to pay taxes on their extraordinarily ridiculous wealth? That $109 billion should go right into the federal government as taxes. It should go right into, and each state should get a doled out an equal amount of it. And you know why? Because Bill Gates has spent his entire adult life ripping people the fuck off. He's a thief who stole who stole Windows essentially from Xerox, right? Or from IBM. And so stole it and then commoditized it and then charges people a monthly fee or to create more storage space or to buy a new software platform like Windows. Who the fuck cares what number we're on? 11? Bill Gates is a piece of shit. He's always been a piece of shit. This guy was for GMO foods. This guy is for vaccinating Africa completely, regardless if they're asking him to or not, regardless if he wants to have, regardless if India, same thing, even because he has enough money, he doesn't need permission. He can just go in and do whatever the fuck he wants. Another out-of-touch billionaire. Do you remember when the COVID vaccines came out and Bill Gates said, yeah, we shouldn't give these other countries, the vaccine for free. We shouldn't just give them the patents because then we won't be able to profit off of it. Bill Gates doesn't want you to own anything from him. You will just continually rent. You'll rent software and you'll have to pay every fucking certain amount of time, month or whatever it is for updates and cloud storage. Bill Gates has been charged multiple times by the United States government for basically running a fucking, for antitrust. He's running a monopoly. And he's paid fines. And this guy, and now he's being lauded because he attacked Elon Musk. He said Elon Musk is attacking poor kids, poor people and children with his policies. I think Bill Gates would be the expert on that, since he's been exploiting poor people's labor all through India and in parts of Africa, but mostly India, because he wants computer programmers. He spent tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on call centers and places to train cheap Indian labor to code. And those jobs were not going to go to America, not because Americans are dumb, but because Americans would make too much money. So it would be easier to go to India and just make everything there. Bill Gates is a scumbag privateer. And we all and because he attacked Elon Musk, we've all forgotten what a snaky piece of shit he is and his fucking foundation. And the very fact that he said, we're going to fund it till 2045, 20 years. And that'll give all of these organizations that we donate $9 billion a year to, tax-free, it'll give them ample time to realize that the funding is going to run out in 20 years. Bill Gates should have had to give all of his money to the government. This is why we have a problem. This is why capitalism is so obnoxious and so bad. Because one person, because they're rich, because they were a misanthropic, shitty computer programmer who nobody liked and wanted to be around as an antisocial weirdo, and all he cared about was accumulation of wealth. Bill Gates used to have, I think he sold it, but he used to have the largest house in Washington State. Like he had it was obnoxiously large. And throw in the fact that when Bill Gates said, I raised my kids in a middle-class home. No, you don't, motherfucker. They wouldn't know what middle class was if you couldn't create a middle-class lifestyle for somebody with the last name Gates. Like how fucking, pull the other one, it has bells. Like stop But Bill Gates spends tens of millions of dollars each year on public relations. He's gotten away And now he's gotten away with this, I'm the kinder billionaire. You know, he was on the Epstein plane. You know, he's on the Epstein logs. Do you know who this man is? Do you know that there's a back door into every single Windows application that's basically either Windows can control it or whatever government wants to control it and get into your Windows? All Bill Gates ever did with Windows was make it easier for you to work more. Hey, you don't just have to work at work now. Now you have a computer in your pocket and you can work at home and you can work while you're traveling and you can work. Bill Gates has created, he's another one of these tech billionaires who have created nothing that we don't need. Think about it. Elon Musk creates, he doesn't even create, but he created PayPal. So that's a way of spending more money. Bezos creates a way of spending more money with Amazon. Fucking eBay, Pierre Omidyar creates a way to spend more money on eBay. And Bill Gates made it easier for you to work. And now you can just rent from him with his vaccine patents and his Windows. And everybody in America now, because not everybody, but Americans have forgotten what a scaly piece of shit this man is. He's a bad guy. And we don't call him a bad guy anymore because the people in the White House are much worse. What do you think Elon Musk learned a lot of his fucking activity? From Bill Gates. From billionaires like Bill Gates. Guys who have been around a lot longer than Elon Musk has. And Bill Gates has done everything to get his taxes cut to nothing. To put into, it's like when people, it kind of reminds me of how people feel about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is an asshole who charges at his employee events, he charges his employees to take pictures with him. Like he doesn't have enough money, he needs to charge you a couple $100 or whatever to get a picture with him. Oh, but he eats hot dogs and ice cream cones. The sage of Nebraska, the sage of Omaha. They're bad guys who have spent their lives trying to pay as little amount of tax that they can into a society that they take more money out of than they put back in, by not even a close measure. And now Bill Gates, because we've allowed these bullshit tax dodges, these non-profits that are dotted throughout our landscape for billionaires to hide their fucking money, or millionaires, multimillionaires to hide their money. And we've let this happen. We've let these fucking guys not pay their taxes. We encourage this. Reminds me of Donald Trump in the debate. I don't pay with Hillary Clinton. I don't pay my taxes because I'm smart. They're not smart. They're greedy. They don't contribute to society. They contribute in their own private way. Why is Bill Gates in anything to do with public education or anything to do with education, period? Because he's trying to privatize it. But he realized they wrote a whole study, the Gates Foundation realized they can't afford to educate everybody. They couldn't possibly privatize it because the outcomes would be worse and would be so astronomically expensive that it has to be government run. It has to be taxpayer funded, government funded. And believe me, he's still trying. He's still going, and he wants Africans and he wants poor people in other countries to work for him and the West to make him money. He wants them to have technology. He wants them to use Windows. He wants them to have to, yes, because that's his product. And the fucking idea that now I have to listen to the media like kiss his ass. It's public relations. He's, like I said, the man spends a ton of money to get his image just right because his image is so bad. But it looks better than Elon Musk's because at least Bill Gates didn't show up and start cutting jobs in the federal government. No, Bill Gates has just colluded. Bill Gates has run a monopoly. He's actively gone after competition, bought it up, limited access with his horrible operating system. I mean, the whole country has lost its fucking mind. And the media this is Noam Chomsky stuff, right? This is Chomsky talking about the filters and talking about how the media can't use physical hard power anymore, so they use soft power. They use soft information. They can't come and crack your skull let's not hold our breath. But now they can use just propaganda. Look at what a good guy Bill Gates is. Never asking yourself, why is this billionaire, this mogul, getting to spend all of this money and putting all of this undue influence on society? It's the least democratic thing I could imagine. It's not even a republic move. It's not even a representative democracy move. Because if you think about it, he's not elected to shit. But he has enough money to pay all of these fucking morons. Think about some of the assholes who have come out of Microsoft and have come out of Apple. People like Steve Ballmer. Did you ever see Steve Ballmer's asshole behavior? If that guy wasn't a billionaire, you would mock him. But he doesn't get mocked. He gets patted on the back and told what a great guy he is. They're all fucking assholes. They all were paid in stocks. So as Microsoft was coming up, they just had they had a ton of Microsoft stock. And again, none of these tech billionaires ever give us anything we need. What does Peter Thiel really provide? He provides a bunch of fucking servers in a building to collect information for the United States government and the military and intelligence communities. Like, what does Palantir really do? What do these companies do? They steal your data, sell it off, and then algorithm you to death. They suppress anybody who's actually, they suppress content, right? They're always suppressing content. They're always YouTube is owned by Google, and it's always warning you, watch what you're saying in the comment section, you might be banned. I've had it happen to me so many times because you use the word Zionist or you use the word Gaza or you use the word genocide. They're fucking horrible people. They're all fucking, Eric Schmidt's a fucking terrible person. I know he's not in charge of Alphabet anymore, but he's a fucking god-awful person. They're all god-awful. And when you let tech people run your society, these nouveau riche motherfuckers who don't really have they don't like you. I've always said this about people who are computer programmers and this tech. They are misanthropic. Business owners always in American history, I can point out horrible things that have been done by owners of mines, owners of railroads, owners of construction, owners of all kinds of shit. We can point it out over and over again. But this shit is happening in real time. And the media thinks it's a good thing. How about you question why you're not spending that money in taxes? How come you're not putting $100 billion to taxes? That would change a lot, wouldn't it? If you do the math in 50 states and you get $100 billion, well, golly gee whiz, that's a lot of money. That's a $500 million to each state. Hell, you could just give everyone a check. You could give everybody a check in America. But instead, we're letting him tie his money up into a tax dodge. And we let every other billionaire and millionaire do the same fucking thing. And we wonder why our infrastructure is crumbling. And we wonder why people are losing faith in every section of the society. And we wonder why people are becoming more racist and bigoted and more religious and more zealots. Because they are fucking suffering financially. And some billionaire oligarch asshole gives his money to his fucking kids, basically. I think his kids work for his foundation. Like, this is a scam. This is the Rockefeller Foundation. This is the Carnegie Endowment. These are the same things. They're tax dodges. And I don't know how, number one, I don't know how Congress or the House never fucking, even the Democrats, there's no opposition in this country. They're all bought and paid for. And everything, and all of their theater, all their AOC theater kid bullshit, it's just that. It's just fucking nonsense. And now we're lauding Bill Gates for putting money in an account so nobody can touch it tax-wise. And then he gets to throw $9 billion a year as a budget to schools and to world health. Do we need this man? Do we need Bill Gates at all? Stop trying to create vaccines and then sell and rent the patents. You fucking venal, rapacious, corrupt, greedy piece of shit. Thank you for listening, and fuck these billionaires and millionaires. God, I'm fucking sick of this. And if you're not pissed off at these people, and you're not at your wits fucking end, if you haven't had it up to your fucking gills, then you need to fucking check yourself. You need to find your balls or your ovaries or whatever the fuck and start questioning this reality that is being created for you by billionaires and tax-free dodges. And tax dodges like nonprofits. Thank you for listening.